Y'all good? All right. Everybody ready? All right. Good afternoon. The gun violence we saw in a small section of downtown this weekend is not acceptable. We will not allow gun violence to escalate and plague our city. Our police officers and detectives will continue their pursuit to find those responsible and to hold them accountable. We will work with our city, state, and federal prosecutors to seek justice. What we saw this weekend was an affront to the values we hold so dear as a city. Our city is strong, it is vibrant, and it condemns these senseless acts of gun violence. Over the weekend, we responded to 4 crimes involving firearms, all in the Samuel General area of downtown. On Saturday morning, our Central Bike officers were proactively patrolling a parking lot near number 60 West Market Street. While they were there, they heard a volley of gunfire. Several of the bullets flew over the officers. At least one of those bullets hit a sign just above them. The reckless disregard of someone who openly shoots into a crowded space not only endangers innocent lives, but also poses an immediate threat to our police officers. I am proud of the bravery of our police officers who found themselves in a dangerous and chaotic situation. Our officers have arrested a 19-year-old man, and our detectives are working with prosecutors to determine if any gun-related charges will be filed in this case. Then, early Sunday morning, just after 4 a.m., our officers finished their enhanced patrols around number 60 West Market Street. Multiple calls came into 911 to report a shooting. Officers got on scene within a minute of the first 911 call and found a 22-year-old man on the ground with a gunshot wound. Despite life-saving efforts from our officers, paramedics, firefighters, the man died on scene. Our homicide detectives have been working this case nonstop, but they are running into roadblocks. They're getting little cooperation from the people who witnessed this shooting. Let me reiterate that. There are people who know who the shooter is, and they are not coming forward, either because they are scared or because they are intentionally trying to hinder this case. As we have done in other cases, we will go after those people. They will be charged with obstruction of justice. We will not let fear or intimidation silence witnesses. If you have information about this shooting or any other felony case, please call our non-emergency number at 801-799-3000 or in an emergency, 911. We owe it to the community who lives, works, and visits Market Street and the downtown to find the person or people responsible for this homicide. I strongly urge anyone with information to please come forward. The third incident happened Sunday night at around 11:30. Our officers were working near 300 South Main Street when they heard gunshots to the west. Officers checked the area and saw a car leaving a parking lot near number 60 West Market Street. When officers safely stopped the car, they found 2 spent shotgun shells and a shotgun inside the car. Some of the people inside that car were family members of the 22-year-old homicide victim. Our detectives are working with prosecutors, including our federal partners, to determine the appropriate charges in this case. The fourth incident happened early this morning, just after midnight, when officers learned about a shooting near 300 South Main Street. Officers found a 27-year-old man who had been shot in the hand. Today, we are looking for 2 suspects who left the area after the shooting in a car. Anyone who has information on the case should call in, even if you think it's insignificant. We are doing everything we can to try to ensure the safety of those who live, work, and visit around number 60 West Market Street and throughout the downtown area. The gun violence we saw this weekend all appears to be isolated. These were not random shootings, but we certainly understand the fear they instill. We are working with business owners, property owners, and event organizers. We have and will continue to increase our footprint in and around number 60 West Market Street. to have more police officers on scene and to have those officers patrol later into the night and early mornings. Our goal is hopefully to prevent crimes. But unfortunately, there are people who have shown a complete disregard for the safety of our officers and our community. These are people who are willing to pull out guns to resolve conflict. Instead of walking away, they let a dangerous and deadly recipe of tempers, alcohol, drugs, and guns take over. The solutions to reducing the violence that's happening along Market Street and in the nearby parking lot is a collaborative effort that involves not only the police department, but many other city departments, prosecutors, and state agencies. It's something we take very seriously. I want to thank our officers and our detectives. They are working tirelessly every day and every night, putting their lives on the line to protect and serve our community. Our police officers and detectives are dedicated to keeping Salt Lake City safe, and I want you to know our city is safe, with overall crime being down 16% as of last week. What happened this weekend does not represent or define this city or downtown. We owe our officers and detectives a debt of gratitude for their commitment to community safety. I am proud of this city. This weekend we saw so much unity as we celebrated Pride. Our city is resilient. We will work together with our community to create a safer and more compassionate city for everyone. Thank you. I'll take a few questions.
So Chief, what's going on with 60 Market Street? You arrested a 16-year-old for a shooting there in April, correct? Same address?
Yeah.
So what is it about that area that's attracting people with guns?
Well, Pat, that's why we have a crime control plan. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We look at these areas, the times, the dates, the locations, what's driving the crime, and that's why we're down there now. I mentioned the enhanced patrols that we're doing. Well, with this crime control plan, we'll be enhancing all our efforts down there.
Is it the parking lot? Is it the New Yorker? Could they be doing more?
I don't know. I think it's everyone's got a stake in this, Pat. I mean, it's the police department, it's the fire department, it's the property owners, it's the parking lot owners, it's the event organizers, it's all of us, it's our community. At some point, we need to stand up and say enough is enough. We're not going to tolerate that in Salt Lake City, and we can do better.
Chief, it sounds like at least two of these are related. Do you see a relation between the others at all?
Not right now. Again, we're still heavily involved in these investigations, but we haven't found that yet.
And for local businesses in that area, are police speaking with them? Are you guys working with them directly, or what's the connection there? Absolutely.
In fact, our downtown business community engagement officer, our DCLOs, our district community officers, we meet with them regularly. Captain Derek Diamond and his team, who's over the Central Division, they have regular meetings, and they talk about strategies and things that they can do to make Salt Lake City safer, especially that area. Yes, sir?
Isn't all occur in like kind of late night, early mornings? Is there, I guess, like a particular reason why those times are so dangerous?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it comes down to looking at the data. Yeah, we know that there are people that go to these areas and engage in activities, sometimes nefarious activities. There's fights. There's a lot of drinking. Again, some people turn to conflict resolution instead of just walking away. They pull out a gun and they pull the trigger. And that's what's so impactful. I mean, violent crime is personal. It hurts not only families, loved ones, but it hurts our community as well. So that's why we're dedicated to work with our businesses in these areas to reduce these crimes.
Are these gang related?
There could be, but again, still very early into investigation. So.
There's like a surveillance trailer, cameras and stuff. I mean, did that pick up anything? Can you speak on what that's doing there and the purpose of that?
Again, I can't speak to the investigation, but we have cameras in different locations, and yeah, at times they deter crime. But in this instance, I'm not going to speak to the investigative part of that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.